This sounds very promising. Very, very promising. I didn't hate it, but look at the sprayed edges. And I just found him, like, icky. I mean, this sounds f***ing fun, honestly. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Shoshana here to talk about some friggin' books that I do not want anymore. And literally like 3, I think. Maybe, 4. I have 4 books to haul. And I don't know how many to unhaul. I'll do the haul first. And one of these, this one right here that I just grabbed, is one that I've already listed on Pango because I don't want it. I wanted to skip the month. This is from my Goldsboro Books, like, SFF membership thing, whatever it's called. But I had already skipped too many in the year. August is when my year begins, and I had already skipped too many, and I couldn't skip this, but I picked it up from NetGalley and didn't really love it. I didn't hate it. What did I rate it? I don't remember. But the book in question is Dragon Rider by Taryn Matharu. It's really cool. Like, super cool. It's like a box, foil, and like, look at this. It's got like dragon scales on the inside. There's no like sprayed edges or anything. And this is just like the normal cover, signed and numbered or whatever. Again, not a book I hated, but just one that was underwhelming. It was one that I was like, man, I wanted to like that a lot more. I was really excited about it. But yeah, bummer times. I think, are these all? 3 of these are all Goldsboro books, and 1 is from a publisher. The next one from Goldsboro, I don't remember what month this was from. This one's really cool looking, and I keep the plastic on them until I read them and decide if I want to keep them or not. So sorry if it's super shiny. But it's High Voltage by Chris and Jen Sugden. I'm not real sure. I don't even know what this is about. Let's see. Delightfully twisted mashup of Douglas Adams and Charles Dickens. Okay. The back here. To say that even Greater London was a city of crime was rather like saying that the Atlantic was an ocean of wet. True, no doubt, but something you would expect the average man on the street to already be aware of, unlike, say, the location of his wallet. This problem had created a number of law enforcement solutions, including, most recently, the city's first independent detective agency, Fleet and Twistle Private Investigations. I mean, sounds cool. I don't think I had read anything about it. Even Greater London, 1887. Okay, so it's like historical. An uninterrupted urban plain encompassing the entire lower half of England and, for complex reasons, only the upper third of the Isle of Wight. The immense tower, with a capital T, casts electricity through the sky, powering the mind-boggling mechanisms of the city. The engineer army of Isambard Kingdom Brunel swarms across the capital, building, demolishing, and rebuilding whatever they see fit. At the heart of it all sits the country's first private detective agency. Okay. Archibald Fleet and Clara Entwistle hoped things would pick up quickly for their new enterprise. No one is taking them seriously, but their break will come soon, definitely. Probably. So, yeah, someone gets kidnapped, and they investigate. I mean, this sounds fucking fun, honestly. Hopefully I enjoy it. And look at the end pages, or the sprayed edges, whatever. Really cool. And this cover is even really cool with the foil, the pink foil. I hope I like this. I hope I like all of them, obviously, but like this sounds very promising. Very, very promising. I've not heard of this book at all until I got it from Goldsboro. And the next one from Goldsboro is 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland. This cover is kind of like whatever. It's like cool. It's not anything that I personally like love that much, but look at the sprayed edges. Look at that. So beautiful. So beautiful. It goes around. And the end papers like this. Ooh. And a really cool naked cover too. Does it go on the back? No, blank on the back, but really cool. This is another one I don't know what it's about. Let's see. It's the reason, wow, geez, Shoshana. It's the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god king June. He has it coming. Under his merciless, immortal hand, the nobles flourish, while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness, from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder, they can agree on treachery. Before these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other, but only one can take the crown. Let the best liar win. That sounds fucking fun too. Hopefully it is. I have also not heard of this or seen it anywhere other than from my box from Goldsboro. Oh, this is the one Roger's reading, I think, right now. I'm pretty sure. I got this from the publisher, Red Hook. I don't know how. I don't know. I've never been on a publisher list, really. But Daughter of the Merciful Deep by Leslie Penelope. So yeah, this is an arc of it. A woman journeys into a submerged world of gods and myths to save her home in this powerful historical fantasy that shines a light on the drowned black towns of the American South. Jane Edwards hasn't spoken since she was 11 years old when armed riders expelled her family from their hometown along with every other black resident. 12 years later, she's found a haven in the all-black town of Awenasa, but the construction of a dam promises to wash away her home under the waters of a new lake. Want to save them. Someone with uncanny abilities is asking questions, hints at gods and ancestral magic. To find answers, Jane will journey into a sunken world, a land of capricious gods and unsung myths of salvation and dreams made real. Sounds intriguing. Intriguing. And that's the 4 new books. I did order a graphic novel that has not arrived, and it wasn't available from the library. I tried to get it from the library, but it wasn't. And I don't even know if I'll like it, but it looks so fucking cute. I'll put it up here. I've never heard of it, but it's by the same guy that did, and he does the Fairyland, I Hate Fairyland series, which I haven't read, but Middle West by Scotty Young. I've read the first, volume of it, and I have the complete, the book of it, the bind-up, that I need to read at some point. But for some reason I think I was just looking to see, update my series sheet, and I was looking to make sure that, what I have, it is truly done, that Middle West is, complete, truly, and I think it is, and I was on his website, and I saw this other one, and I was like, that looks so fucking cute, and the little, blurb about it, I was like, I need to read this, so I bought it, but it's not here yet. So moving into the Unhauls, there's way more, there's 10-ish. First up is kind of a collection, I guess, a series, and that is these Elizabeth Hayden books that I have. I read Prophecy, and I started reading, I read Rhapsody. I read Rhapsody, and I started reading Prophecy, and I DNF'd it, and then Destiny is the third one in that series, and then these 2 are from, a spin-off. I think Elegy for Lost Star is the first one, maybe? And then there's Requiem for the Sun, and then I think there's another one. This is another trilogy. But yeah, I enjoyed Rhapsody, and I was like, okay, all right, I wasn't in love, but it was cool. And then I started Prophecy, and I was a little bit bored, but mostly there's a character whom I was just not vibing with at all. He had showed up in Rhapsody a little bit towards the end, but barely. And then he was clearly going to be a much stronger presence in this one. And I just found him, icky, and I just didn't like him. And I went and looked at some reviews, spoiler-free, but, that seems to be the vibe. When people don't like the overall series, it's because of this one character. And someone else, oh God, who told me? Someone who's read it. In my comments, I'm sorry, I cannot remember. A couple people have talked about this series with me. Was like, yeah, if you don't like him, that was probably a good idea to DNF, because he's very prevalent in Prophecy. So yeah, I'm getting rid of all of these. They were clearly old used copies, and I'll probably just get rid of them at Bookman's, I would think. And then this one is nonfiction, a memoir. Invisible Man Got the Whole World Watching: A Young Black Man's Education by Michael Denzel Smith. I read this years and years ago. I cannot remember when. And I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. But it's just one that, I'm never going to reread. It's been on my shelves forever. And I just saw it and was like, dude, I'm never going to reread that. And there's not really a need for me to keep it on my shelf. So that's the only reason I'm getting rid of this. It's a good book. I enjoyed it, like I said. Would recommend. And then we have one that I very disappointed that I DNF'd this. It's been sitting on my shelves for a year or two at least. A Hero Born by Jin Yang. This is wuxia fantasy. This is translated from Chinese to English. And wuxia fantasy in book form. I think that's how you pronounce it, by the way. Apologies for anyone who speaks the language and who is offended that I'm butchering it, if I am. But yeah, it's just, I think in movies and stuff, I can enjoy it. This kind of over-the-top martial arts karate that's a little ridiculous and nonsensical kind of. That's the vibe I was getting. And in movies, I can like that. But for some reason in book form, I just was like, no. And even just the way the story was being told in general, like the narrative structure of it all, it felt way too like loosey-goosey, and like I wasn't getting grounded in the story at all. So I DNF'd, unfortunately. And then we have a trilogy that I read years and years ago, and I love these copies. These covers are so cool. And it's one that I wanted copies of, and I kept because I anticipated that I would reread it someday. But it's one that over the years has just kind of gone out of my mind, and any desire to reread it has disappeared entirely. So despite really liking these covers, I'm gonna get rid of this series by Vic James. I cannot remember what the series is called. It might be called Gilded Cage series. I'm not sure. But like these covers, like there's other covers of it that are terrible. These hardcover ones that I think is what I got from the library. But these UK covers, beautiful. And I mean, I would recommend this. I think it's underhyped for sure. The Dark Gifts trilogy. I think it's underhyped for sure. But yeah, it's just one that like was good when I read it, and that's that. Britain's magically skilled aristocracy compels all commoners to serve them for 10 years, and now it's the Hadleys' turn. Abby Hadley is assigned to England's most ruthless noble family. The secrets she uncovers could win her freedom or break her heart. Her brother Luke is enslaved in a brutal factory town where new friends' ideals might cost him everything. Then, while the elite vie for power, a young aristocrat plots to remake the world with his dark gifts. As Britain moves from anger to defiance, all three must take sides, and the consequences of their choices will change everything forever. It's like a dystopian thing, and again, would recommend. If any of that sounds cool, pick it up. I've gone back and forth about this one a few times. Even right now, I'm like, maybe I should reread it just to see. I don't know. It's been like years since I read it, you know what I mean? And then one that I read recently that was a bummer, Into the Bright Open by Sherry Demoline, a Secret Garden remix. It was fine. It was underwhelming. It just didn't have the magic of the Secret Garden that I wanted. And like the character work, I just didn't love. It felt a little shallow, pretty shallow, honestly. Yeah, it just didn't vibe with it as much as I was hoping to. Wasn't bad, wasn't like some terrible book or anything, but very much like, okay, you know, never gonna reread this for sure, so goodbye. And then this one is a bind up of these two books, the first two books in the series. Maisie Dobbs series, the first book being Maisie Dobbs, and then Birds of a Feather, the second book by Jacqueline Winspear. This is a very long historical mystery series, and I saw this at Changing Hands, and I was like, okay, that's a good way to like check it out. This like there's like better covers and stuff of it. This one is not cute, but it was fine. I don't know. I didn't dislike it by any means. And initially I read the first one, Maisie Dobbs, and I had every intention of like, at the very least, reading Birds of a Feather. I was like, okay, I liked it enough. Like, let's see. And literally after like a week, I just was like, no, I actually don't care. I didn't like it enough to want to give the second one or give the rest of the series a shot. So there's other like historical mysteries that like when I'm in the mood for that, there's others that I would prefer to go to than this for sure. And there we have it for now. So quite a few. There's a couple other nonfictions that I thought about getting rid of, but I'm gonna hold off for now. Nonfiction is like that where I'm kind of like, why do I keep buying it? Because most of the nonfiction I read, even when I really, really like it, like I'm probably not gonna read it again. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna read the whole book ever again, most likely. So it's kind of silly that I keep buying it. Especially because most of the time, nonfiction, I tend to listen on audio. So even if I have the physical copies, I end up listening to it on audio anyway, and then I don't usually feel the need to keep the books. I don't know, it's very dumb. Whatever. That's all for now. Let me know if you've read any of these or if any of them sounded good, especially the new books that I've got that I'd never heard of. Had you heard of those ones? The ones I got from Goldsboro? Are you interested in them as I am now? The two that sounded good. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined and you haven't already. Or of course, just leave a little emoji to say hello if you'd like to let me know you're watching. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.